1957 Topps, Bob Cousy rookie. We're really excited to feature this card. I think anyone who studies this issue sees this particular example and just goes, oh my gosh, I didn't know that they could look like that. And that's a fair statement. They don't look like this. This is a otherworldly example. Dead centered, looks like a mint card in just about every way. The print is phenomenal. It's a recipient of our high-end designation. This is easily the best 8 we've ever seen sell at any venue in the history of this marketplace. We're pretty confident in saying this must be the best 8 in the world because it's a recipient of our high-end designation. We are also saying that I think it's worth a second look at PSA for an even higher grade. First thing we want to take note of these 57 Topps cards is the print. So often you've got tremendous amounts of white print snow in these dark backgrounds. The focus can always be a little bit off. The print on this is just incredible. You just don't see it. And when you see a card that's as boldly struck as this, you go, wow, I guess they can look like that. You didn't know it beforehand. It's just, you've got one print dot maybe down here underneath the S and Cousy, and that's about it. It's just incredible. And then also, of course, the centering. Rarely does this card come centered better than 70-30 even. This just looks like a card that if you cut it yourself out of a sheet back in 1957, you wouldn't have been able to do it any better than this. It's just flawless. Dead centered, 50-50 both directions. Coming at the corners, this is not a weak attribute either. The corners are really nice. The left corners are virtually mint condition. In our estimation, the edges are without any kinds of flaw. There's no rough cuts that oftentimes would also generate chipping. So these left corners they're worthy of 9s. I don't think you can argue it. The right corners show just a little bit more wear. See if I can show that. You can see just a little bit of a touch there. Not quite as square or sharp. Maybe an 8 or an 8.5 corner there as opposed to a 9 corner on the other ones. It's lower right, similar story, just the slightest bit of wear. It's still sharp square corners, but they're not mint in our opinion. The back, it's clean. Sometimes you can get a fair amount of excess black print snow on the back from the cards being put into packs and kind of rubbing against each other. This one's fresh. You don't see much of that at all. Take a look at the corners here. So here on the back, these are the two corners which we consider the weakest, and that's saying a lot because they don't look that bad. And then these right corners are just about perfect. It's just a glistening card. I think that these right two corners are about the only thing we can see that keeps the card from being a $100,000 plus PSA 9. Frankly, it's just a gorgeous card. When we try to assess eye appeal, try to assign value based on quality, within the world of 8s, this card is in a league of its own. And if it sells for anything close to what a normal 8 brings, I would consider that to be an outright steal. I think you could consider this to be a card worth multiples of a typical 8. You just can't replace it. It's a really exciting card. Certainly not the most expensive card we'll have in auction 11, but it's competing for the one that gets my heart racing as much as any.